Oh yeah, OU's the thing. It's been a while since I've played OU, and I should probably get back into playing it since it is generally considered to be the main tier. I decided to load up some Thunderwave Gholdengo today. We'll see how this goes. Alright, right off the bat, my opponent has a Garganackle, which sort of messes with Gholdengo, and also Iron Treads, which we don't like to see. And as a lead, Breloom is not the worst if he leads off with the Iron Treads. If he leads off with the Cinderace, we can always switch, I think. So let's lead off with my Breloom. As they do lead off with the Iron Treads. That's good. We get that read right. And then here I'm going to just Bullet Seed hard, because I don't expect them to want to stay in. If I Mach Punched there, that actually would have been fantastic. And since we are not loaded dice, we are, it's luck how much we get. I actually sort of want to go for this here. If we get 3 hits, we'll be good. And we do. So the Hattering is gone, which is fantastic for us. They don't know our item. But they know it's not loaded dice because I only got 3 hits turn 1. Alright, here we can go Glimmora, or we can go into Great Tusk. I think Great Tusk is maybe more important to keep healthy for Garganackle and for Iron Treads and for Cinderace later on. This is still quite useful. I like Glimmora only really for Dragonite. And problem with Screamtail is it doesn't threaten this at all. I think I am going to go Great Tusk. I don't know if that's the right play. But I figured that they would just be U-turning anyway. So we don't end up taking any damage. If I'd have been Rocky Helmet, I would have ended up with damage on me. But then some chip on Cinderace. But we are just leftovers. So they go into Toxapex, which is a very interesting play. I think here I go for Gholdengo. Because if I can start getting things Thunderwaved, that'd be good. Thunderwave here. They may be expecting Trick. If I had to guess. They do go Iron Treads. So they know I'm not going to be a Scarf set. That's okay. I'm wondering if they're Assault Vest on their Iron Treads. Not exactly sure. We'll go back into my Great Tusk here though. Because if they are Assault Vest, that doesn't do any kind of damage whatsoever. And now I can get a safe knockoff. So knockoff is a pretty important move to have gotten on Toxapex here. They are Rocky Helmet, but since we're leftovers, we can recover that up later on. And at this point, I will go... what do we say? Back into Gholdengo? Because I'm really spit up Gholdengo. Like, I think I'm almost max spit up or something. Alright. I'm going to double into Glimmora. In case they decide to go into Iron Treads. If not, that's okay. I'm going to go for Earth Power here. I'm just going to sack this. If I can get damage on the Toxapex, that's fantastic. And now I can go into my... How do I capitalize best on this? If I go Great Tusk, the only thing that can go into is Dragonite. So I'm just going to go into Great Tusk and click Earthquake. All of their other guys take damage except for Dragonite, which if they bring that out, I can just click Knock Off. Because I am defensive, right? Okay, they do go Dragonite. That's okay, I think. Yep, okay. Now I'll just click Earthquake again. I don't want to overpredict against this guy. Yep, and they lose their Toxapex there. So that's fantastic. They could have tried to play around it a bit more, try to get cute and go to Dragonite or whatever. But I don't really feel like we're on the part of the ladder where I want to predict this kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm going to knock off because they could Tera. And just getting this leftovers off is most important, I think. Now, if my Gholdengo were not leftovers and it were Covert Cloak, I think that would be fantastic. But as we are not, we have to decide what to do now. I'm gonna go Breloom. They decide to Tera Fairy on the subsequent turn, which is probably smart. At this point, now that they've Tera Fairyed, I can just throw this away. I don't really need it anymore for anything. Now, they'll probably recover, since I don't really think you want to risk me getting 5 hits into 5 hits. So that gives me a pretty safe switch into Gholdengo. And on that, I will go back into Breloom, because I don't need my Breloom if they decide to stay in. As they do. And so I'll just commit here and Bullet Seed. Okay. I'll just Bullet Seed again. And now you recover here. So I will go into my Gholdengo now. And I will just click Make It Rain. Unfortunately, we're not Nasty Plot. If we were Nasty Plot, that would be the option here that I'd like to go for. As you can see, that does a lot of damage. And they only really have one switch in, which if they decide to go into Iron Treads, that's okay with me. They're just going to get some chip on me, that's okay. Now, I could predict them to go Iron Treads. Like I said, I'm pretty confident this is Assault Vest, but I really don't care if it's Assault Vest. They can't Volt Switch on my Great Tusk, so they'd have to double, and nothing that they can double into really appreciates the Great Tusk. Because they already sacked their 2 best answers to Great Tusk. So at this point, I'm actually going to click Rapid Spin. If they go into Garganackle, they don't have leftovers, and they can't really protect on me. If they go Dragonite, that'll break its multi-scale, and it allows me to get in my Breloom again. Yeah, so do go Dragonite there. Alright, we're going to go hard into Screamtail here. It can no longer Terastallize since they already did that with the Garganackle. And so now I'll just Dazzling Gleam a couple of times. I think that's the best option. As apparently they were still slower than me after one Dragon Dance. So maybe I'm just going to Encore here. Yeah, there we go, Roost. Now they're Encored into Roost. Now they have to switch out or waste a bunch of turns. Actually, I'm not sure how this exchange goes. Okay, so now I'm going to Encore them into whatever they go for. We'll see what that ends up being. It's Earthquake. That's okay. I'm going to sack my Breloom here, because I don't need it. And then I need to do a Calc here. Gholdengo probably does not kill this. Dragonite. Let's say it's bulky Dragon Dance. It seems pretty bulky to me. A +2 attack. This is still max attack Adamant. Against Screamtail or Walking Wake. Earthquake does not kill. And Draco Meteor should kill from this range. So we sort of have to go for that, I think. And if they want to switch out, that's okay with me. They'll probably try to do this again later on. But yeah. Good, we got rid of the Dragonite. That was, I think, the only real threat they had left on their team. Now, my Walking Wake is a little bit low, which is unfortunate. But that's okay. At this point, I think I want to sack my Screamtail, because that's what does the least on my team. They go for Sucker Punch. I doubt they stay in. They're just Dazzling Gleam in case they decide to go into their Garganackle trying to get a heal. But they do go Iron Treads, which is alright. We'll go into Great Tusk, as it doesn't really let the Iron Treads do too much. And I'm actually going to click Rapid Spin here, because that'll make me Well, I have to go for Rapid Spin twice. But I can do that here again. Do I? I'm not going to risk it. That might be a roll. It would 2 Rapid Spins would make me faster than Cinderace. But I don't really think I need that. I don't think that's necessary. I'm already going to be faster, probably. But they went for Sucker Punch, which is an interesting play. I don't really know what that gets you, because I resist it. Fireball is what you have to go for and hope for the burn. But at this point, this game is over. So it really helped that my opponent decided to sack the Toxapex and the Hatterene really early on. Okay, so they are max speed. And we'll just finish this game off here. Yeah, because my opponent decided to sack their Hatterene and their Toxapex, my Great Tusk really had no answers on their team. So as long as I didn't recklessly throw it away, the game was pretty much won at that point. Now we're facing a more offensive team, but they still have a Garganacl and a Clodsire. So there are some defenses that we have to punch through. Grimmsnarl is interesting on this team because I'm assuming that it helps Azumarill set up. But this isn't a traditional HO team, I don't think. Really only the Gengar and the Azumarill can set up. I'm not really sure what they want to do here. I'm going to lead off with Breloom in case they decide to lead off with Meowscarada. I think that's the best play. They lead off with Garganacl, so I can just Bullet Seed that. And that forces the Tera. They actually Tera Ghost. I only get 2 hits, but that's okay. Because you are Tera Ghost, that actually means that my Hex is no longer resisted, but it still won't do very much. I'm going to go into Great Tusk, because now I can click Knock Off. They actually go for Block, which is a really interesting play. I wonder what that's supposed to do. Okay. Stealth Rock. Fortunately for me, I don't really need my Great Tusk in this game. Like we saw in the last game, how good Great Tusk was. But in this game, it's only really good for Clodsire. And it would have been good for Clodsire. But, what you gonna do? Okay, but the Garganacl has wasted its Tera, which is great. Knocked off the Meowscarada coming in. That was a bit of a reckless play by my opponent. I really don't think they should have made that play, because now they've lost their Choice Scarf. If they trick here, they get a Focus Sash, but that doesn't really help them at all. I'm going to go for Spore, maybe? Maybe I should just Bullet Seed again, because they'll probably U-turn into Garganacl. Yep. I actually get 4 hits, and that does a lot of damage. So we're going to go for this again, and pray that we get 2 high roll hits or 3 hits. Or another crit, that'll do it. Wow, the Garganacl is dead. I really don't know why my opponent threw it away there. There was no way the Great Tusk was beating you. It's very strange. Alright, at this point, looking at my team, what are my Shadow Ball switch-ins? I really don't have any Shadow Ball switch-ins whatsoever. Do I want to keep the Breloom? Well, the Mach Punch is really good for the Meowscarada, and it's passable for the Grimmsnarl. I will outspeed Grimmsnarl almost certainly, so even Bullet Seed could be good there. And it's not too bad for Clodsire or Azumarill, so it's not a bad idea to keep it. Gengar can be revenge killed by my Glamora. I think actually Gholdengo is a switch in here, because I'm so Spadef, and my opponent decides to go for Psychic. I mean, Psychic is super effective against Breloom, but that's just one of those examples where going for the super effective hit really is a bad idea, I think. Alright, so my opponent can no longer switch in to Stealth Rock. Crazy how that actually did, like, I'm pretty sure that was a roll to kill. Let's go Glamora here. They probably won't expect it to be Choice Scarf. I'm pretty low on the ladder. And so there goes the Gengar. Now the only thing left on the team that can be really a problem is Azumarill. And on this, I will go into my... And I'm going to go Scream Tail on this. Go for Knockoff, which is okay. I'm going to go for Wish here. Wait, why is this Why is this knockoff and trick? That doesn't make any sense to me. What a weird Meowscarada. Alright, well we can continue to stall this out. But let's see how much Screamtail does to Meowscarada with no investment. Meowscarada, sure, oh you lead. 62%. Let's just kill this. If they decide to switch into Grimmsnarl, I guess it'll be better for us. If they go into Clodsire like they should, then that's a little bit different of a story. As they actually do that, which is unfortunate. So, should have gone for Wish. But I figured I would try to speed up the game a little bit. Alright, they do go for Toxic here, which is sad. But really, like, how much did we do last time with Earthquake to the Meowscarada? Oh, no, we knocked off the Meowscarada, that's right. And did 20%. It might kill. We go Grimmsnarl hard. So that's decent. I'm gonna go into Glimmora now. Because if they get up screens, then what I think we want to do... Well, actually, Yeah, well, if I lock into Sludge Wave, the thing is they can't go into Azumarill, they can't go into Meowscarada, right? You can Parting Shot here, but the only thing you can go into is Clodsire. And Clodsire is not a threat behind screens, right? That's what I'm thinking. Alright. I'm gonna go into my Screamtail. I'm gonna click Encore. No, I'll just click Wish. Okay. And then I can click Protect. And then I'll Wish again. Getting up spikes is annoying. But I can just go into Great Tusk here. They spike on my obvious Protect, but like, what are you doing? Because now I just get a Rapid Spin off. And you can't stop that. And my Great Tusk is back to full. And I think my Great Tusk has a lot more value in this game. Especially because they actually sacked their Grimmsnarl trying to maybe block me. I was actually thinking about getting a spike up there earlier, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I went for Sludge Wave instead, because with that out of the way, that's not too bad. Okay, I'm going to sack Screamtail. Doesn't do anything now. They go for that. Now they don't have an item at all. Very nice. And at this point, I'm going to go into Glimmora and click Sludge Wave again. It's no longer super effective on Meowscarada, but I do not want the Azumarill coming in. And that's the main thing. Even if the Azumarill comes in and goes for Aqua Jet, then that's fine. But we can't let the Azumarill come in for free. Go back to Great Tusk. They want to double, then that's fine by me. But they decide not to. I can just click Earthquake here. The main thing is, I think that if we get Azumarill low enough, if we keep it low... Oh yeah, good job. Sack that. Then we should be okay. Because they're going to try to set up here, right? At least they should. Let's check damage real fast here. Great Tusk against Azumarill. If it's Belly Drum, then we do 40%. And then Breloom with Mach Punch is 15%. So that's not enough damage. Walking Wake will resist Aqua Jet. And if I Tera Water, then Hydro Steam does a good chunk. But I think that's the best sequence right there. So we'll Earthquake you now. They actually fail Belly Drum, which is cool. Wait, they are Leftovers Azumarill. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Alright, let's go back to Great Tusk. And if I Terra Ground, then I will kill. And Aqua Jet only does 22% to me. I'll just Terra Ground. I think that's an okay play. The Aqua Jet, yep. That does not kill. And the Clodsire not have Protect, so it'll be a dead Clodsire too. And that's just the fastest way to finish that game off. Nice. Here we go. This is a bit more of an offensive team. It's a bit strange seeing an Iron Leaves an OU without some kind of electric terrain, but we'll see. As leads, I think they could either go off with Sandy Shocks or maybe Cinderace. And so I think that Great Tusk is an okay lead against both of those. They do go with Sandy Shocks. I will just Rapid Spin. They could Tera Ice turn 1, but if they do that, then that means that they no longer have their Tera. And I think that's a bit premature. You probably should go into Great Tusk yourself. They are Rocky Helmet. I'm going to click Knock Off turn 2, just so we don't have to deal with that nonsense. And then I can go probably into my Screamtail, because they knock off themselves, which I think is a good play. Yeah, Screamtail I think is the best option here. Okay. I'll just go back into Great Tusk now. I'm not going to let you do that. And I'll click Earthquake now. Okay. Just based off how they were playing, it doesn't look like they were a spiker. At this point, this doesn't really do too much. I don't know really what I want to do here. Maybe I'll go Glamora, just so I can poison their Great Tusk. Is then Headbutt, so cool play. Actually doesn't kill me. I'll just Power Gem here, because they probably aren't expecting me to be Choice Scarfed. And so now I've actually gotten up 2 layers of T-Spikes, which will at least greatly poison the Great Tusk. And the Cinderace is low. So that's good, I think. Now I'm going to go into Gholdengo, and I'm going to click Hex. So they were not choiced. So that's good. And now if they'd want to go into Great Tusk, they can. But, let me see. My Gholdengo is pretty bulky against Great Tusk. Physically defensive. Earthquake does 75%. And if they are toxic, badly poisoned, and that does 69% to 80%. I sort of want to do this, just because Gholdengo is one of the mons I wanted to put in work with. I click Knock Off, and that'll do as well. And we actually kill them. There we go. So we got a Hex kill, finally. Alright. As they go Iron Leaves. And this is probably just going to Psyblade. So I'm going to go into Screamtail here. Save the Gholdengo for the Hatterene. And the main reason I wanted to kill the Great Tusk there, at all costs, was because I feel like... What do you do here? I'm not really sure what you want to do. I'm going to sack the Great Tusk. Well, that looks like a God read. I didn't mean for it to be. I just wanted to sack it, because then I can go Gholdengo and get another Hex kill. But... the main reason I wanted to get it gone at all costs is because then everything else coming out is going to be toxic, and that'll just make everything a lot easier to deal with. At this point, I'm just going to click Hex. No reason to overpredict. This is probably... Well, it's not Choice Specs, because I see it's Booster Energy. But I am a little surprised that kill, just because I am max Spadev. Alright. So they have not used their Tera yet, and this is something we have to respect. But I think I'm going to go Breloom here. And I'm just going to click Bullet Seed. I think this is my last chance to really get anything done with this Breloom. And we are Focus Sash. So we can get a good number of hits off. And even if we don't, we still have Mach Punch. And that will kill. And so that'll waste a turn of Iron Leaves Toxic. Plus I can get a Mach Punch off here at the end. And my opponent actually goes for Tera Fire, which is huge. So my opponent completely throws the end of the game there, because they go for Swords Dance and Tera Fire, which allows me to get 2 strong Mach Punches off. Wow. Crazy end game. They should never have Terra'd there. I don't know why they would go for Tera Fire in any situation there. That was a really bad play on my opponent's part. Okay. So now we've got an Alomomola, Umbreon. Very odd team, but definitely a threat. So in terms of leads, you have Cinderace, you have Magnezone. I think I'm just going to lead off with Great Tusk and click Knock Off turn 1. Because they almost certainly go into either Umbreon or Alomomola. Maybe not Gengar. You would never go Gengar. It's almost certainly going to be like Rocky Helmet Alomomola or something. Alright, or they just stay in with the Cinderace and don't respect Great Tusk. Maybe that was just a complete outplay on the knockoff, just to say, hey, I know you're going for knockoff. I have absolutely no clue what that idea was. Funnily enough, Umbreon cannot touch Great Tusk in this gen. There is the Alomomola I was expecting. I'm gonna go Gholdengo. I am Max Bidef, and you cannot trap me. So I'm gonna click Thunder Wave now. And the only thing that could be bad, I guess, is if they go Umbreon, because then I'll get synchronized. And that would be bad. But they also could expect this to be Trick. Okay, because I actually get a bit lucky there. Or not lucky, I'm not sure which one. Because they dodge. So Foul Play doesn't do any damage to me. And I can click Knock Off for free now. And because Umbreon doesn't get Toxic, all I can do here is Wish Stall a bit. And I'm just going to knock off all their items. If they get no items on them, that'll make things a lot easier for us going forward, I think. And they can wish Umbreon, they can wish Alomomola or whatever. We can see. Oh, they have Yawn on this set. Okay, that makes sense. Alright. I'm going to go into Breloom then. And I will click the Mach Punch, actually. Because I am Focus Sash. And if they decide to stay in and go for Pyro Ball, then that's a bad deal for them. To go Gengar. I could have gone for Spore there, but I didn't want to risk it. I think at this point, what do we want to go into now? I'm not really sure what we want to go into. I'm going to go Gholdengo. Go for Hex here. I am Max Bidef, like I said before. Wonder if this is sub-disable? What kind of nonsense we're dealing with here? Just gonna Hex again. Just in case they decide to go for substitute scouting for the Thunder Wave, I think. Alright. Fortunately for me, I am cursed, I'm cursed body. But I'm good as gold. So that's fine by me. I'm gonna Thunder Wave here. Because now they're paralyzed. And they'll no longer be faster than me. So now I can recover stall them a bit. Because they were no longer... what do I want to say? Because they could no longer substitute. And we were fine. And they still can't substitute this turn. Just barely below the substitute point. So we're good to go. Now we can Hex. And the only real switching they have is Umbreon. That actually worked out really decently for me. I was correct in assuming that this particular set was sub-disable. And my opponent is making a lot of plays here that I would have expected. So that's good. I'm glad to see that. Now the heavy-duty boots on Cinderace have been knocked off, which is fantastic. I'm going to Power Gem here just because in case they decide to try to go Cinderace or something to heal it up, then it'll be dead. So that's good. It does seem like my opponent's making plays that I can see coming. I'm going to Power Gem just to break their... Wow, that was a crit. Just to break their multi-scale. I think that's really important in this game. And then I can go into Walking Wake. And I'm going to click Dragon Pulse. I don't think you'd be Tera Fairy on a Dragonite ever. So you can Extreme Speed, you can sack Gengar to absorb the Toxic Spike. You can go Umbreon. But now your Umbreon is poisoned, which is actually not too bad. I'm going to go Breloom here. because I don't think I need it anymore. And they probably should protect here to try to get some health back. But if they do go Gengar, like I was hoping they would, then I actually kill them on the switch there. So they keep on trying to heal their guys up in the back, but it's not working out for them because I'm not letting them go into it. Crazy that they're 2 for 2 on the Cursed Body. But, that's what Gengar does. Alright, they do go Dragonite here. And I'm going to go into my Gholdengo because it doesn't do anything at this point. And if they want to try to Extreme Speed, then I can go for a Make It Rain. Depending on how bulky they are, they may or may not outspeed me, I'm not sure. So they actually sack their Umbreon, which is fine by me. They may try to go Magnus Zone to try to trap me or something, I'm not sure. I'm not trapped, of course, because that's not how this works. I'm gonna go Great Tusk. Great Tusk is only really okay for Dragonite, and that's about it. So I'm gonna go for the knockoff now. Knockoff, of course, is just generally a good play, because I was expecting the Alomomola to be Rocky Helmet. And we'll go into Gholdengo now. And I can either recover, or I can go for the Thunderwave. I think maybe I'll just go for Hex. Hex does damage to Magnezone more than any of the other guys. We go for Healing Wish, which is an okay play, I guess. If I had known that they had Healing Wish on this particular set, I might have gone for Recover. I'm not sure if I'm out of range of the Dragonite. Okay. I think I'm going to stay and get some chip on this. They go for Tera Blast Grass, which not only sort of shows their hand expecting me to go into Great Tusk, but also that's probably choiced. Here's the Healing Wish. I get the Thunderwave off. I go for Hex, and that's game. Perfect. Man, low ladder's great. It's really easy to get stuff done here. Because now I can just Dragon Pulse and the game is over at this point. Yeah, so they expected me for sure to go into my Great Tusk on the Magnezone, but there was no reason for me to do that. I'll just stay in here. It doesn't really matter what I do at this point. And oh, they were actually Scarf. Okay. So they were definitely choiced in some fashion. Oh, let's just keep it short and simple like that. This team actually is pretty decent, I think. I've been struggling a little bit in OU in the past, and that's why I haven't had a lot of OU videos. I've been playing around with a few different teams, but I didn't really have anything I liked. But I really like this team. I think Breloom is pretty fun. I like that it has Mach Punch and Spore. We didn't get to see the Tera Fire in this game, but I have had that helping me in the past. Screamtail is actually really good in OU. I really do like Screamtail, even if it's a super annoying Pokemon. And I think Great Tusk, of course, just again showed off in this video why it's the #1 Pokemon in usage. It's one of the best Pokemon they've ever created, just in terms of what it can do, the utility it brings to the team, the stat distribution, everything about Great Tusk is just immaculate. And Gholdengo is just doing Gholdengo things. So yeah, great team, great live, and I'll catch you guys next time.